From a political crisis that began earlier this month with the opposition moving a no-confidence motion against Pak Prime Minister Imran Khan, Pakistan has dived into a constitutional one. With the no-confidence motion vote rejected by the Speaker and Pakistan's assembly is dissolved, the joint opposition has knocked on the Supreme Court's doors and has vowed to protest in the National Assembly unless the Supreme Court interferes in the matter. Pakistan's top court has taken Suo Moto cognizance of dissolution of National Assembly by the President Arif Alvi. Further details are yet to be revealed. Chief Justice of Pakistan Umar Atta Bandial and other senior judges are in the Supreme Court. Sources say while fast-paced political developments took place, the Chief Justice of Pakistan also called fellow judges for consultations. Let's keep this conversation going. Javed Rana, journalist and strategic affairs expert, is joining us live from Islamabad. Welcome to WION, Javed.
Thank you.
How Pakistan is reacting to this latest development?
Well, Pakistan is in constitutional crisis. The Deputy Speaker of the Pakistan's lower house of the Parliament could not have stopped the process of voting out of the Prime Minister Imran Khan. Now, under the Constitution of Pakistan, there had to be voting, and the Speaker, instead of initiating the voting process, he came up with a ruling and said that this is a matter of national security. These opposition leaders and opposition MPs, they are in league with the USA, and they are in connivance with the USA. They are engaged in a conspiracy to topple an elected government. And this is the reason that he has given a ruling rejecting the voting process. So apparently it is a unconstitutional deviation from the law of the Pakistan. That is why now everything has landed with the Supreme Court of Pakistan, and the Supreme Court is likely to decide. But very importantly, it seems that it will be very difficult for now to reverse the election process in Pakistan. Prime Minister, the President of Pakistan, on the advice of the President, has already dissolved the Parliament. Now, if the Supreme Court comes up with a judgment, that means all this process is going to be reversed. If the Supreme Court comes up with a judgment that this is illegal, unconstitutional, that means the process and the order of dissolving the Parliament would also be reversed. But we have to see a bigger picture which is developing in Pakistan. And that is, everybody talks about the national security in Pakistan. The letter that Pakistan's ambassador to the Washington wrote to his government, that he was summoned by the US officials, and he was told that if the no confidence motion is not succeeded in the Parliament and the Prime Minister Imran Khan is allowed to continue, Pakistan will have to face the consequences. Now this dispatch has been treated by Pakistan's National Security Council and the government as a high treason act and blatant interference into Pakistan's affairs.
Do we know the consequences that the US is alleging will be taken against Pakistan?
Well, that means the USA and the European Union have been a major export destination to Pakistan, one of the leading source of remittances. It will be very difficult for Pakistan economically, as USA can certainly cause a lot of economic difficulties. But at the heart of all this is Prime Minister Imran Khan is trying to pursue an independent foreign policy. And in this country, the political leaders have turned out to be very much pro-USA, pro-West. They have their properties there. The retired military generals have their vested interests inside the Western countries. They have their orientation in the West. And that is why they are not ready to deviate of what the Americans are asking them to do that. Pakistan's military has been at the heart of the allegations that it has been providing some kind of a tacit support to the opposition parties, as a result of which the loyalties of the ruling party's members were purchased by the oppositions. Then all of a sudden the allies parties withdrew their support, and the government is accusing them that millions of US dollars have been paid to them to topple the government through the vote of the no confidence. Right. Legally speaking, let me conclude, the government said since every members of the parliament and every citizen has to be loyal with the state of Pakistan, and the opposition parties have committed treason by to be in league with the USA in toppling the government. That is why this ruling has come up with. But this is a controversial ruling, and there are serious legal questions about its validity.
Let's talk about the Supreme Court now, and you mentioned it there, that it will take the opposition's concerns about the Parliament's adjournment of the no-confidence motion. Will this intervention have any effect in the future, really?
Well, under Article 69 of the Constitution of Pakistan, the proceeding of the Parliament cannot be questioned in any court of law if there are irregularities committed inside the Parliament House. That cannot be questioned. This is the standard provision, and that is what the government hopes, that the Supreme Court would not intervene. But the fact of the matter is that the Supreme Court is also custodian of the Constitution. It is the one which has to interpret the Constitution of Pakistan. There were clear provisions of the Constitution under which the voting had to take place. Those provisions have been violated. And on the other hand, the government is trying to shelter itself behind another constitutional provision under which the proceeding cannot be questioned. My understanding is that the Supreme Court is certainly going to interpret all these provisions of the Constitution, and that verdict which may come out with may not be favorable to the government.
I am talking to a fellow journalist and strategic affairs expert, Javed Rana. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.